Hello. So today I'm reviewing the a TED Talk of Barbara Oakley's Learning How to Learn. This talk is one of the most powerful guides for students, professionals, and anyone who wants to learn faster and better. Barbara Oakley explains how the brain actually works while learning and how small changes in our habits can improve our ability to learn and to remember, understand, and apply new knowledge. Barbara Oakley begins by explaining that learning isn't just about natural talent. It's not just about natural talent. Many people think they're bad at math or not smart enough, but Barbara argues that learning is simply a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. If you work on it, if you get trained yourself, you can gain knowledge. She even shares her own story that she used to struggle with math and science and later she became an engineering professor. This proves that anyone can learn anything with the right techniques if you work on yourself, if you focus. One of the main ideas of the talk is that the brain works in two modes: focused mode and diffused mode. Focus mode is when you're actively trying to learn something, reading, solving problems, studying, focusing on yourself, focusing on the work. And the second is diffuse mode. This is when your brain relaxes, like when you're walking, showering, or daydreaming. She explains that great learning happens when we switch between both methods, not when we force ourselves to stay focused the whole time. For example, you try to solve a math problem and get stuck. You take a break and then suddenly the solution comes to you. That's diffuse mode work. And then, as we talked about taking a break, so why breaks are important? Barbara emphasizes that taking breaks is part of learning, not laziness. The brain needs time to process and connect ideas. If you study nonstop, you only exhaust your focus mode and block creativity. Even a 5-10 minute break can refresh your brain. Then, when we talk about it's also about practicing and practicing yourself, gaining knowledge. So, she explains that the brain builds neural chunks. It is a group of ideas that your brain connects together. The more you practice, the more automatic these chunks become. This is why repetition is important, not cramming. Just like practicing dancing or sports, the brain also strengthens through repetition. Then, she shows a very powerful point about procrastination. Most people avoid studying not because it's hard, but because starting feels uncomfortable. They feel like, oh, we can't work, we are lazy to work. So she suggests using the Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and then repeat. It trains your brain to start tasks without fear. Then it also depends upon why sleep helps learning. Why sleep is important when we study, when we're gaining knowledge. She explains that sleep clears out toxins from the brain. It strengthens memories, and when we sleep, when we wake up, we feel refreshed. Organizes the information you learned during the day. That's why pulling all-nighters is useless and you study more but you remember less because we are feeling sleepy and We're just learning and we can't focus on what we're learning. Sleep is literally part of the learning process because when we sleep and when we wake up, we feel refreshed. Then, learning slowly is still learning. Some people are slow learners, but it's still learning. She also reminds us that people who learn slowly often learn more deeply because they learn that thing again and again, and that makes them slow learners. Rushing through things or memorizing without understanding doesn't lead to true learning. Taking your time builds strong understanding and long-term memory. Then, on the other hand, some people make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are good. She says that mistakes aren't failures. They're part of the wiring process in the brain. If you never make mistakes, you'll never learn deeply. We make mistakes again and again, and then we learn from that mistake that we are not going to do that thing again. The message of the talk, the main message. Her message is so clear that learning is a trainable skill. Anyone can improve their brain, build strong habits, understand difficult subjects, and become smarter through practice, breaks, sleep, and the right techniques. Her talk empowers people who think they are not smart enough to realize you don't need talent, you need strategy. You need to plan. So, this is extremely helpful for students, content creators, this TED Talk, professionals, or anyone who wants to develop a growth mindset. It teaches us how the brain learns, how to study better, how to avoid procrastination, how to build confidence in your learning ability. So, I would like to end this. Thanks for watching.